Hey everybody, this is Sean from the G.A.M.E.S blog, and I'm here today to bring you a quick review for the CirclePad Pro for the Nintendo 3DS. Now for those that don't know, the 3DS came out a bit more than a year ago, and the first common complaint was that it doesn't have a second analog stick, which is problematic for some games that try to have a more, accurate camera control. Because of these complaints, Nintendo decided to release the CirclePad Pro. What this is simply a device where you insert your 3DS and it adds a second slide pad. It also adds a set of triggers. I thought I'd go over the dimensions because that's probably the most important thing when it comes to the CirclePad Pro and the thing that stands out the most. This is a pretty bulky unit. Um, it adds a decent amount of weight to the 3DS. It's not too much, but it's still noticeable. Um, when you actually compare it to something like a PSP or PS Vita, they're pretty similar in size, as you can see there. Um, Despite its large size, there are some cool little things with it. First of all, it connects to the 3DS with an IR port, which is there. With that, it takes a AAA battery, which is supposed to last a couple hundred hours, which is a cool thing. The CirclePad Pro comes bundled with one. It also comes with this strap, which you can use if you're afraid of, your 3DS flying off during play. But as you can see right here, your 3DS simply slides in and it stays there pretty firmly. I could turn this upside down and shake it and it probably won't come out. Overall, it's pretty sturdy. You're not going to be too afraid of your 3DS getting damaged. The only problem is it adds so much bulk. You're probably not going to be able to carry this around in a current 3DS case. You'll either have to take it out every time or try to find a larger case that'll support it. Furthermore, there are a couple of issues when it comes to what the CirclePad Pro blocks off. As you can see here, you can't access your game port. So if you want to switch games, you're going to have to take them out. I believe the Wi-Fi port is also blocked off. As you can see here, the 3D slider is available, but it's still a bit hard to get at. You're not going to be able to do it really quickly on the fly. You might stumble a bit with your fingers. Same thing with the volume slider, which is right around here. Once again, it's accessible, but it's not the easiest thing. As I mentioned, the CirclePad Pro adds a second set of triggers, if you will. There's the ZR and R triggers here, which is this R trigger essentially replaces that one. These ZR and ZL triggers are nice because they're very big, pretty easy to hit, and the one issue comes with the L trigger. So far, not many games use it, but if ever a game uses it, it's a bit hard to hit simply based on how the CirclePad, fits around the 3DS. And speaking of games which support the CirclePad Pro, that's probably the biggest problem. At the time of this recording, in North America at least, only 2 games, Resident Evil Revelations and, I believe, Metal Gear Solid 3D, use the CirclePad Pro, to add an extra layer of control. For both of them, you can play without them, but to get the best control scheme, direct control over the camera, the CirclePad Pro can be used. The last game is Kid Icarus Uprising, which unfortunately doesn't use the CirclePad Pro for better controls, which would have been nice. It just allows left-handed people to use this thumbpad as opposed to the one that's on the system to begin with. Overall, the CirclePad Pro is not too bad of a purchase at $20, though you'll have to buy them from specific places in the States. In North America, you can buy them at GameStop or order them from Nintendo.com. The one issue I have is it's not backwards compatible with any other software, meaning it would have been nice to play Mario Kart and fire off shells and bananas with these triggers, but you'll have to take off your system and use these triggers when you want to play any games that aren't really compatible. Also, yeah, there's only 2 games as of now that really use them, so unless you're playing Metal Gear Solid or Resident Evil, it might not be necessary, but if you're playing those games, you might want to check out the CirclePad Pro because it offers overall a better sense of control and feel. Well, that's it for my review. Thanks for listening. If you want to see more gaming news and reviews, you can check out thegamesblog.com. There's a link in the description box. And until next time, take it easy.